It was legal issues, restraining orders, arrest, and possible jail time. Watch yourself in the comments. If anybody tries to get crazy in the comments, my fingers are ready.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months. Been gone for a year, only know like once.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. What's up, y'all? It's Kim here. If you've been here before, then you already know what it is and what's up. And if it's the first time, come join the club. It's a vibe, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all, today is another story time that I have to get off my chest. I recorded a last one, but I feel like this microphone is gonna add to the vibe, and also I want to be more organized with the story time because I'm gonna be very honest. I don't really want to edit and sit down and relive what I'm about to say, so I'm going to be very organized and calculated and intentional. The intention with this video is to provide motivation that even if all the odds are stacked up against you, you can still achieve your goals and you can still do the impossible. The impossible is very much possible, and it might take a long time. It might take years to get that goal that you finally been waiting for to be accomplished, but it will pass. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. So this video is not to bash or spill any tea, like, oh, this is the tea. This video is for me to let go and to just, again, spread the motivation. Because y'all, 2026 is my year, and I hope you're saying that 2026 is your year as well. I'm loving this microphone thing. Y'all, this microphone thing got me feeling like I can sing. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So I got my degree. This is, as you can see by the title, I got my degree very, very recently, and I'm super ecstatic about it. Now, getting your degree, being the first person to get your degree, especially in an immigrant family who is considered lower middle class, being the first person to get their degree, from what I know, okay, I'm gonna be very honest, I don't know if anyone else got their degree. I don't know if my sister got her degree or my brother, because to be honest, I'm no contact with them. I'm gonna just keep it up stack with y'all. I'm gonna just lay it on the table. Well, not every single day. Whatever I post is what I'm comfortable with the world knowing. I'll just let you guys know that from now. I don't know if they got their degree. All I know is that I got my degree, and this is about my triumph and victory in getting this degree and moving forward in life. So the reason why this is such a big deal is because, just to give context, I would say I grew up in a socio-economical standpoint, lower middle class, right? It was the 5 of us in a 1-bedroom, and like I said, my mom and my dad, they did the best. They did the best they could, but in certain departments, things were a little abusive. So now, let's get into the actual process and how I got to this point and how many roadblocks there was, but I was able to jump and get over them. So I went to the college, I stayed home. I was definitely not allowed to go dorm. Why? Because I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. Yeah, I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, eldest daughter. So you already know how that goes. You already know the truth with that. Crazy, trauma, abuse. And that's why I am, like I said, no contact. So that is the context. I feel like for people who don't understand or might be like, well, that's a little bit of context. So that's just a little bit of a personal background. Now, the degree. How did I even get to this point? Because let me tell you something. It was a journey. It was a lot. I started college 18, right after high school. The regular procedure, right? And about a year in, my mother and my father decided to stop paying tuition. They were like, we're not gonna pay tuition. You need to figure this out on your own. Mind you, I was not working. I was not allowed to work unless it was summertime. So at that point, it was kind of like a almost verbatim of what my mother said to me. She said, I didn't get to finish school. She went to school, but she only finished halfway. My father never went to school. I don't know anyone in my immediate or, pretty close family that got their degree from what I know, right? So boom. I think except for my aunt, I think. So yeah, like I was saying, it was kind of like the attitude of, oh, I didn't get to finish. How are you gonna finish? We're not paying for tuition. How are you gonna finish? Oh, how? That was the attitude, and that was the, kind of the verbatim of what she said to me. And in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just use my savings account because my savings account was pretty hefty, and that's what I was doing. I was using my savings account to pay for tuition. At the time, I didn't tell her, obviously, because I'm like, I don't know how she's gonna react, because, let's get into that now. When she found out, right? So this is the day that this is the first hurdle that came with me getting my degree. So, and why it's such a big deal. The reason why I'm getting into this is because I know there's other people who went through something. I don't know if they went through something as traumatic as this, but they went through some hurdles. And if you're still trying to achieve a goal, it doesn't have to be getting your degree, whatever type of goal, you can still do it. So when she found out that I took my savings account money to pay for the tuition, she was furious. She was enraged to the point where she has the bank statement in her hand, right? She's looking at it and she's like, where'd you put the money? What you use it? And I was like, oh, I used it for tuition. And she's like, what? Why would you do that? And she's angry, she's enraged, she has so much rage to the point where she took a lamp. The lamp was literally as long as this microphone, and I'm not even joking. The lamp was as big as this microphone, approximately, and the lamp bulb obviously was a little bit bigger than the microphone itself, and I believe that it had the little top. And I'm laying in my bed, and I'm calm, and she's hovering over me with the lamp like this. And she's like, what? And why would you do that? What's wrong with you? And she's like reaching, like as if she's gonna hit me with the lamp while I'm lying in the bed, all because I used my savings money to pay for my tuition, because she told my father to stop paying for my tuition, to finish school, to get a higher education, to live a better life. Okay. I'm just gonna let that sink in for y'all. Next, approximately a year after, I left and I went cold turkey and I went no contact, right? So now, that's a whole nother story. I'm not gonna get into that. Long story short, after I went no contact, I was living in a group home setting, and the administrators from this group home situation notified the school of what was going on, because they knew my situation, they knew what was going on. It was legal issues, restraining orders, arrest, and possible jail time. I just want y'all to know the severity of what was going on without actually telling y'all what was really going on, because to be honest, it's a lot. It's literally, it could be a movie. So when the administrators, they wrote this 1-page to 2-page letter explaining to the school why I need the financial help to keep going and to keep excelling, to keep continuing my education, because they knew what was, like I said, the group home situation, they knew what was going on and everything, like I said. The financial aid ladies that after they read the letter, I remember their demeanor, and their demeanor was of sympathy and determination. Storage was full. Okay, so like I was saying, the administrators, they were just determined, and they were like, don't worry, we're gonna help you, we're gonna make sure you're able to continue. So at that point, I received financial aid, and I was still paying tuition to an extent, but I didn't have to pay as much as I would have had if I had to pay the whole tuition. So I'm working hard, I'm working jobs, and I'm using all my money, and to the point where I was literally just eating cup noodles and surviving off of water and little snacks for a couple weeks to like a month or so, because I was using all my money to pay for tuition, all of it. And I remember I used to be so hungry, y'all. Like, y'all don't know hunger. Like, I pray nobody really knows what hunger is. Like, when you have experienced a certain level of hunger, you'll never forget it. Like, it's hunger to the point where you're looking at garbage cans, or you're almost kind of in a dazed state because your mind cannot function properly. And I remember this one moment I'll never forget, where my stomach was growling while I was in class, and I was just so hungry, and I was like, oh my God, I'm just so hungry, and I'm in class just pushing through, like I have to just keep going, like, you know what I'm saying? So now 2020 hits, I'm doing online classes because of coronavirus, and at that point I ended up having to owe them because of, I guess, the financial aid. Something didn't hit, and it was like a stack. So at that point I owed the school and I couldn't continue classes, and I was just like, damn. Mind you, at that time it was coronavirus. It was another really bad time in my life, right? So now, boom, I'm like, fuck, I can't finish because how am I going to pay these people? I can't pay that back. I can't pay those thousands back. So at that point in time, 2021, 2022, I think 2023 maybe, I kind of wrote it off as, I guess I'm not going to finish. And I just left that dream and that goal of finishing school out of my mind. I said, it's over with, it can't happen. Fast forward to, I guess, around 2023, I think. I can't remember the exact year, y'all. It's so many years, but I met this girl in this program, and me and her were both, I'm like, trying to get ourselves together, get our shit together. So we're like, oh my gosh, we should go back to school. And I'm like, yeah, we should. So we literally went to the college and re-admitted, and then I was approved to re-enroll. And because you had to apply to re-enroll because it was so long, and I was so happy that when I got approved, they're like, you're approved, you're re-enrolled. So I was so excited, and I was debt-free because of the student loan forgiveness, I believe, that everybody was supposed to get, and I didn't, and that was another miracle that really made me feel good. I was like, okay, the debt is cleared, I can re-enroll, and I got approved. So I'm back in school again. I'm having faith, like, okay, maybe I could really get my degree, maybe I could really finish. So fast forward 2 semesters before I'm supposed to graduate, things got very intense. I was in a certain living situation, and I'm at the library, sleeping. I'm sleeping at the library to finish my finals. I'm staying up till 2 in the morning, which is regular stuff. Like, staying up till 2 in the morning to do a paper is regular stuff, but it really hit me when I was in the library at 3 in the morning, laid out on the couch, fighting the sleep to finish these papers, to make sure I don't quit. And I remember sitting in the kitchen table, and I was like, yo, like, I was about to quit. I was like, this is so much. Like, I was under so much pressure. Like, the amount of pressure, again, this is a whole other story as to why I was under so much pressure and what the circumstances were, but it was very, 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 very pressuresome. And I was like, no, I'm not gonna quit. Something was like, don't quit, keep going. And I just started praying. And I think I'm gonna start talking about prayer a little bit more on the channel when I do story times, because prayers got what got me through some really, 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 really interesting times. And I'm sitting here today talking about this with a smile on my face because I have overcome. And I hope you know that you can overcome too. So yeah, we got 10s and all these professors and all this stuff. So now, fast forward to the last semester. The last semester, the hardest part got over, and I'm getting my credits together, and the requirements that you need to graduate, I finished them. I finished the classes, and I got my credits. So I'm like, okay, this is the last semester, and I'm like, okay, this this is it. I'm still a little jittery because I'm like, okay, what if this happens? What if that happens? Because there's so many things happening, obviously. So I'm like, still trying to fight those negative feelings and thoughts. But I'm like, you know, I got my degree. So this was just like not too long ago. I get my grades, I pass all my classes, and I'm checking my graduation status, and I'm checking my transcript, and I'm like waiting for things to like, for it to show. So I'm checking it. So first thing I check on my grades, everything passed. Okay, then I'm checking my graduation status, and it says pending, needs to approve work. So I'm like, okay, I'm checking, then I check, it says approved. And when it said application for graduation approved, I was like so excited. I said, thank you, God. I was like, yes, I was so happy, y'all. So then after that, I'm checking again, and I had this parchment thing showing up on my phone, the website, basically where you could get your official transcript and your diploma. So I had that on the thing ready to see, and I refreshed it, and it said, such and such is available to see in your institution. I said, oh, wait, did I get the diploma? And then I check on my CUNY first, and it says degree awarded, and I was like, ah! Y'all, I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, my degree, I got it. Because I checked each like thing. There's like a process, you know, like pending, then approved, then degree awarded. So I saw it said degree awarded, and I was so happy. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm so excited. I'm gonna put it right here so I can see degree awarded. Thank you. So I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I did it. And I was crying, and I was just praying. And I was just like, oh my God, thank you, God. Like, I did it. Like, I did it. Because this story time is not the full story time of everything that I had to go through. This is just a quick synopsis because I don't want it to be too long. And again, this is just to give inspiration and motivation for anyone out there that this video reaches. And also for me to just get certain things off my chest. So, yes, I got the degree, and I was so happy. I'm still so happy. I'm still smiling. It's about to be my personality. I said I'm 1 degree harder, and go follow my TikTok because I made a post about that, and it's kind of starting to get some numbers. It's starting to get some traction, so that's good. Make sure you follow my TikTok. My TikTok is starting to get some traction. So we got that. 2026 is my year. 2026 is gonna be your year as well. I'll put in the motherfucking work. Now it's time to shine. It's my time to shine. But yeah, that is a story time of how I got my degree and how my own family was literally went all against me, and I still got my degree, like literally. And I can probably say that I broke a generational curse. I did. And I'm going to say that very, very proudly because it was extremely difficult. But yeah, I hope this video provides inspiration. That's the intent, just to give inspiration, just to get some things off my chest, just to speak on a little part of my life. My life is, I've lived, you know, people say I've lived so many lives. I feel like I really have lived so many lives. Not so many, even though I'm pretty relatively young, but I feel like it's just like, it's up and stuff. It's 2026, I'm gonna run it up with YouTube. But yeah, that's it. I'm logging off. Bye. Mwah.